So, according to a recent United Nations briefing, female genital mutilation is on the rise in Guinea. Around 97% of women between the age of 15 and 49 have undergone the procedure there, and according to a recent study, nearly 70% went through it before they were 10. Before they were 10 years old. Now, for those unfamiliar with the details, female genital mutilation involves the cutting out of a woman's clitoris, inner labia, and sometimes other labia, then sewing the whole thing up, leaving only a small hole, just small enough to fit in a match head, so the pee and the blood can come out when she's menstruating. Now, the procedure itself is conducted without any anesthesia, just if you're wondering. It's done with dirty, often rusty scissors, razor blades, rusty razors, well, maybe sometimes a scalpel if they get their hands on it. After this, the female is sewed up with, well, any needle and thread the cutter woman has. Because yes, this is done by women to women. It is estimated that 30% of girls that undergo this procedure die as a result of loss of blood or infection. If you want a more detailed description, I suggest you read Desert Flower and Desert Children by Waris Deary. Deary is a former international supermodel who went through the torture of FGM at the age of 5 in her native country of Somalia. She has since used her fame to bring light onto the barbaric practice of female cutting. Below, I will leave a link to a testimony by her about the procedure. You will find it in the paragraph titled Becoming a Woman. Which brings me why I'm actually making this video. While being as horrible as it is, FGM has been going on in Africa for centuries. Don't get me wrong. It makes it no less sick and barbaric, and the people that keep carrying it out are no less scumbags because of it. The UN report about Guinea, however, makes my eyes turn to Europe, and what the wave of Muslim migration may mean towards the trends in FGM. Make no mistake, female genital mutilation does come from regions of the world dominated by Islam. And thanks to the decades of Muslim migration into Europe, it also exists in it. We know it's being practiced. Deary's book Desert Children talks specifically about FGM in Europe and brings up shocking statistics. The biggest problem is that the book was published back in 2005. We know that whatever the problem was then, it's bigger now, not only because of a decade more of migration, but because of the latest mass influx in Muslim migrants. It's naive to think that the increase in the migrant population will not affect the number of girls being mutilated. We know growing trends of radicalization among the Muslim communities, which basically live in ghettos cut off from the rest of the world. Those are no-go zones where authorities dare not to step in. Not only does this create a space where such practices can be incubated beyond the reach of the law, this influx of migrants who carry the belief in FGM with them will no doubt tip the scale in its favor by the simple effect of mob mentality. Are there Muslims living in these communities who might have been on the fence if to have their daughters undergo this barbaric procedure? Of course there had to be some, to which at least some sense has scratched its way into their skulls after years of residing in Europe, however small that percentage might have been. However, with the current migration wave of people well wrapped up in their twisted cultural beliefs, and imams preaching more and more radical ideas in mosques, abandon all hope. Those people that might have had their doubts will have those either preached, either bullied right out of them. And female genital mutilation isn't even a secret in those communities. It's only a secret held airtight before the outside world. Hell, the women performing this ritual are known and admired in their communities, because female genital mutilator is apparently the only profession a woman can have in the Islamic world. Now, this actually scares the shit out of me. It makes me afraid for all these little girls who have nowhere to run from this, they have no one to ask for help, and the migration situation puts them even in more danger. However, the authorities tried to combat this issue a decade ago, with the current no-go zones becoming even more separated and trends towards radicalization being at an all-time high. Those children are left as sheep. No, no. They're actually concentration camp prisoners selected for Mengele's experiments in Europe in 2016. And there isn't going to be a Soviet army coming to liberate this Auschwitz. Not unless Europe gets its shit together and stops playing nice like fucktards.